David May taking time to answer your questions. David May taking time. He's a busy guy.
It's so dark. Where's David at?
Yeah, is he in a cave or something?
Dave! Dave!
Mr. May, are you there?
Whoa! People have questions. Hey!
There he
Steven?
is.
Mike, oh gosh.
Hey!
Well, maybe this time is good timing. I was trying to work in the backyard here, and yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let me get over here real quick. Let me get out of the sun. That was good timing, man. For a second there, I thought I was going to have to mow the lawn.
Steve, go ahead with the first one, man.
Okay, so following up on some more information that we got from the rewrites that Lynette Schmidt had sent us, amongst the 135 cards we received, the rewrites, that is, she sent us files for 9 new X-File cards from the 3rd and 4th seasons, including Robert Modell, Pusher, Eddie Van Blunt, Subliminal Killers, Jerry Schnauz, Oil-Based Alien. I'll put those all up on the screen so people can see them. So these are additional X-File cards that presumably would have been integrated into the existing checklist comprising 41 X-File cards, yes?
Yeah, that would have brought us, I believe, to a total of 50. Again, it was a long time ago, advanced math. But yeah, so that was always a goal. The goal was to get to a round number. As I had mentioned, there wasn't a good plan after that point, because all you could do is add X-Files and then draw one out of, I mean, it would have been awesome, you know, think about it. By the time you get to season 7, I haven't done the advanced math. Somebody can do that for me. It's how many X-Files, how many episodes, right? So you're drawing from a very large pool. So I mentioned this was always a concern of mine, but yeah, we were expanding. We're getting those 9 more, getting to 50, and then we'd figure out where to go from there.
All right. So had the game not been discontinued, would the 9 new X-Files have been included in the rewritten edition that you were working on?
Yeah, I mean, if I am who I am, I was always leery personally for where we were at with X-Files, meaning that I would have rather had, and I don't even know if I would have done this. This is so sad too, because again, whatever the intent was from the original design, and I say this with, again, all humility, there wasn't anybody left. So the executive decisions, not that I was making them in a vacuum, there were still core people around. Obviously, Brian was a big chunk of this, and Brian would have had a huge impact, whether he realizes it or not. He would have had a huge influence on ultimately what would have happened, because as far as the United States Playing Card Company was concerned, you know, they just said, hit this mark, right? You need to have this 2-player product, and you need to have a plan for how this is going to work moving forward. I'm sure I said, yeah, no problem, even though, truth be told, no plan, but I probably still said no problem. So I'm sure I would have probably done a pool of X-Files. I would have. So for me, the 40 was always the good number, right? I'm nothing against having 41, right? I've even pondered this. I can't remember anymore which X-File I would have cut to go down to 40, and then I would have started a new pool of 40, right? And because we had kind of done seasons 1 and 2 and expansions kind of through, right? I would have probably naturally lumped seasons 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I kind of probably would have, I think I would have discovered that. I don't know what I would have done, but I couldn't imagine guessing more than 50, right? And my druthers were 40. So,
to your knowledge, was a template with the expanded checklist to include the extra 9? Was there one that had been created that you ever saw, whether it be in print or, just a digital file?
No, I don't. It would have been on Lynette's desk if it existed. And back then, boy, this is kind of sad. Back then, I think we were running off of Microsoft Works.
Oh, okay.
So if it existed, it was in a Works file. Even more entertaining. It wasn't even in an Excel file.
Right.
It wasn't even in a text file. It was in a Works file. That's lost to time and space. If Lynette didn't get it done, but Lynette did have those files at one time, because the dry erase checklists, I believe, were done by her, because not only did she do I think she did the play mats. So that's a bit of archival history. So the original playmat does exist. There's still a copy from NLS.
Wow.
Nice.
And it doesn't look like anything that the playmat ultimately looked like. So if you're a playmat aficionado, you want to see the original playmat.
You have one, don't you? I've seen it, right?
Yes, I just obviously don't carry it around with me when I'm about to mow the backyard.
Are you kidding? You don't carry it around wherever you go?
No.
Like this, I leave this in my wallet, and half the time I just pull it out as a credit card and go, "Oh, right, that's."
Oh yeah, sorry. You try to run it. You try to insert it into the
and it just breaks things.
Doesn't
so
work.
yeah, no,
The original Starbucks Platinum card.
Right.
The original, for those of you. I should have bought that when I was there. Oh well.
So yeah, if you get a chance to find that playmat, I'd love to see a picture of it, because that's really cool. Because there's a lot of websites you can go to and make make your own custom playmat. So that would be really cool to use.
Yeah, there's guys that are recreating some different, or not recreating, but creating some different playmats, and to have an image of that, to be able to actually print like a newer version of that, that'd be really cool if we could get a hold of that. I'm sure a lot of guys would print that, so that'd be really great.
Is it the same size as the
slightly smaller than the final version?
Smaller? Okay.
A lot more colorful,
because
I remember.
It is, because it's in that theme again. It's in the aesthetic.
Well, this is a nice new revelation for the masses right here. An additional playmat on top of the one that was commercially released, an early version of it.
There's always an earlier version of everything.
That's true.
There was a game that we played, I think, Dave, that you were using that playmat, weren't you?
I did use that for one of our games. Yes, I did.
Now, regarding the 9 X-Files, we did see one physical card that Lynette had sent us a picture of. The Pusher X-File card had been printed. By any chance, to your knowledge, were the other 8 at any time existing in print form, or were they just digital at that point?
Wow. Now, okay, when we say a card was printed, see, what's kind of cool about Lynette, or even cool about the process, and Lynette was excellent at this. We would do mock-ups.
Mm-hmm.
So she was the master at fake product. Okay. We had to make fake product look real. So obviously it was not printed on the Heidelberg press, but we still got a laser printer we can Matter of fact, that was even going back to the original cards, the famous Donruss ones that were color printed and mounted to plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I don't have the finished version, but I do have a color print from the original Donruss set, and I have some other conceptual stuff from that set. When we printed that stuff, we didn't really mass produce it, so those really were limited, and those files are all but gone. So Lynette is like one of the only people that, it's incredible, she still has those files.
This was the laminated
Oh, wow.
checklist that Lynette made, but looks like it was in Wizard magazine.
Oh, wow. Very cool. That's a little bigger than the
Oh yeah, it's
normal one, isn't it?
Oh, it's huge. It's
yeah.
huge.
Because this looks a little smaller than what you got. That is cool.
Yeah.
That is a cool one. So it's laminated. You can just use dry erase on it then.
Yeah. It's another wonderful gift that Brian sent us recently. Let's move on. We got something else that we wanted to talk about really quick.
We have two
Steve,
more
go
questions
ahead.
for you, Mr. May, and then you're free to go back to your yard work. So one of the bigger revelations we got from our interview with Lynette was the planned pewter card for the Cigarette Smoking Man X-File. To your knowledge, was a prototype ever printed?
Not to my knowledge. I want to say that. Okay, let me. If it was finished, it never made it to the United States Playing Card Company. Yeah, there was a company, I don't know if I can remember the company in Cincinnati that was doing the work to basically make those, because those are prototypes. Those aren't production. And so, to my knowledge, the prototype was not finished. And thus, the prototype was not received at the United States Playing Card Company. I don't think that it was ever finished. I don't think that even the unfinished piece was saved. In my heart, but I've been proven wrong many times.
Well, we have a name. Maybe it'll ring a bell, right? Doug Wilson?
Yeah, we've been hearing his name brought up in connection with the pewter project.
Yes, Doug is a real person, and I can safely say no. If it existed, Doug is not the one that would have it.
I almost get the impression that if it did exist, if they made one, that it was probably looked horrible, right? Because they all did from the beginning. And B, if it was never sent to you guys, it probably ended up either A, in the trash, or B, back into the mold, or C, it just went into some random person's pocket who has no idea that there's 1,000 people in this world that would give their right, hand for it. So I think it's very unlikely that if it does exist, it'll ever surface.
That's a whole kind of another chapter in what appears to be a never-ending story. So Duncan and Ron, I mean, we kind of covered this. It's funny, there's prehistory and post-history. And so in the prehistory, like I said, I think they liked the X-Files. They caught that vision of that checklist, the clue, right? But mechanically, it's funny how we're all mechanically influenced as potentially we just know what we know or what we've experienced. And so they were coming from a unique place. So, but I guess that's a story for a different time.
Indeed. Thank you again for taking a call. I'm pretty sure, not like you have a choice, right? I just press a button and you show up. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, you know, moral of the story, kids, read the fine print. Don't sign anything without a lawyer. Okay.
We'll see you guys next time on David May's Corner.
David May taking time to answer your questions. David May taking time. He's a busy guy.